Good morning and welcome to the lecture number 14, Mechatronics Data Acquisition System. We are going to see some multiple choice questions in this exam, this lecture. So, as you know, my name is Sachin Tulkar. We'll see first example, first question of this lecture. That is, A to D converter is used for. We know that it's analog to digital converter. So it is first answer, converting analog signal to digital signal. Output of analog to digital converter is, it is given to an analog display, given to digital display, given to CRO monitor, or given to a voltmeter. So it is given to digital display because the output will be digital, so it will be given to digital display. Microcontrollers are ... than the PLCs. Now, bulky and expensive, bulky but cheaper, portable and cheaper, portable but expensive. Programmable logic control PLCs are very costlier. They are very bulky as well as expensive. But microcontrollers are very small in you can say size, and they are far more cheaper than the PLCs. So the answer is C, portable and cheaper. According to Nyquist theorem, the sampling rate should be ... as fast as the highest frequency of signal being measured or sampled. In last lecture, we have seen that Nyquist theorem. In Nyquist theorem, the sampling frequency and sampling rates have been given. So, your choices are twice, thrice, 10 times, or 100 times. We have seen sampling rate must be 2 times faster than the highest frequency of signal. So your answer is twice. Next question. Digital to analog conversion is ... analog to digital conversion. Okay. The questions, the choices are less complex than, more complex than, as complex as, or unpredictable. Digital to analog conversion is actually very easy. So it is less complex than analog to digital conversion. Analog to digital conversion requires 8-bit, 12 bits, 128 bits, etc. microprocessors. But in case of digital to analog conversion, it is very easy kind of thing. So you can do it with less complex mechanism. Now the numerical type of question. A signal contains components with frequency up to 10 kilohertz. Although no useful information is contained at frequencies above 6 kilohertz, what is the minimum frequency at which the signal should be sampled? Now here, this question is actually a very interesting kind of question, because if you will see, there are two frequencies given. One is 10 kilohertz frequency and one is 6 kilohertz frequency. Now the Nyquist theorem tells us that the highest frequency is to be considered. That highest frequency is 10 kilohertz, and we have to work on the twice thing. Sorry, the highest frequency is 10 kilohertz. That's why you have to use sampling frequency equal to 20 kilohertz. So that is the answer of your question. Now next. The task of time sharing, in which large number of digital signals are sent through cable or bushes, is performed by. Now here digital signals. Task of time sharing, in which large number of data signals are sent through cable or buses, is performed by. sensors or transducers, central processing unit, multiplexer, or analog to digital converter. In this example, in this question, if there are large number of data signals, then we have to use a multiplexer to time sharing. Okay, so that is the important part of multiplexer, or multiplexer has that utility of time sharing. Which module of data acquisition system consists of CPU than that controls the complete data acquisition system? So your options are input module, output module, sampling module, or control module. So you have to remember that if CPU is required, it must be a control module which will be helpful in data acquisition system. When using anti-aliasing filter, it is normal to sample somewhat below the Nyquist rate to allow for the non-ideal characteristic of filter. This question is true or false kind of thing. In anti-aliasing filters, they have asked that if we'll sample below the Nyquist rate, what will happen? It is not, you can say, preferable to sample below Nyquist rate. You have to remember that Nyquist rate has to be followed. So this answer is false. We have to maintain Nyquist rate at least. We cannot sample below Nyquist rate. That we have to remember. The capacity of data acquisition system can be specified in terms of number of control element, number of channels, number of interfaces, number of functions. Now here control elements, interfaces and functions will not matter. Number of channels will be mattering in data acquisition system capacity measurement. So that we have to remember. The next question, data acquisition is a process in which physical variables from the real world are converted into electrical signals, modified and converted into digital format, both A and B, and none of above. So this is tricky kind of question, but you have to remember that in data acquisition system, all the signals will be converted into electrical or digital format. So your answer will be both A and B. What is the input of data acquisition system to which a transducer is connected called? The input of data acquisition system to which transducer is connected, it is called as a channel. That we have to remember. What would be the typical setting time for general purpose 8-bit ADC? Now, analog to digital converter, there are two questions, one by one. So we have to remember, when analog to digital conversion is there, the typical time setting is 1 to 10 seconds. And for digital to analog, your answer will be 100 nanosecond to 1 second. Because in digital to analog, it is very fastly happening. But in case of analog to digital, we have to wait for some time. And that's why the settling time will be 1 to 10 seconds. For ADC, if the question is asked for ADC, then 1 to 10 seconds. And if the question is asked for DAC, the digital to analog, your answer will be 100 nanosecond to 1 second. So this is tricky kind of question. You have to read the question carefully. If they have asked for analog to digital or digital to analog, that you have to keep in mind. If D to A, it is 100 nanosecond to 1 second. For lower accuracies, digital acquisition system is used. Both digital and analog, or analog acquisition system is used, or mechanical data acquisition system is used. For lower accuracies, we can use analog acquisition system, and it will have one advantage. Now the accuracy will be low, but the bandwidth will be more. So I'll just write this. When low values of accuracy is required, analog data acquisition system is used. This includes a wide frequency bandwidth as well. So wide frequency bandwidth will be your additional benefit of this particular analog equation system. That is to be remembered. What is meant by a single chip data acquisition system? A single chip data acquisition system. This question is also tricky one. A single integrated circuit containing ADC and multiplexer. Single integrated circuit containing ADC and DAC. Single integrated circuit containing all the components and none of above. So maybe if we are from mechanical background, so electronic parts we don't know, but maybe somebody will say that if ADC and DAC are in one chip, then it is your answer, but it is wrong. All the components cannot be in single data chip, but ADC and multiplexer, this is your answer. If they are integrated in one chip, then we can call it as single chip data acquisition system. So this is the answer. ADC and multiplexers will be in one chip. Okay, so these are some questions. I have tried to sort out around 15 questions from data acquisition system. There will be some small numericals which will be depending on the A to D converter and D to A converter, which I have taken in lecture number 12. So you can refer to that numericals also. And if you have any queries, any questions, I'm going to upload some multiple choice questions on this blog also. So you can follow that blog and you will get the information in that. So this ends your unit number 3. We'll meet again in next lecture for unit number 4. Till then, Sachin Tolkar is signing out. Thank you very much.